Hey everybody, welcome to another band discography ranking, and today I will be ranking all 10 of Ween's albums. Yes. Uh I've done some videos about Ween before. I did a ranking of all the songs from Ween's album The Mollusk, and I also did my top 20 favorite Ween songs. Go check out those videos if you haven't already. If you are a Ween fan and you're watching this. And this is my second band discography ranking. I already did the Beatles. Go check out that if you haven't already. Um, and now I am doing Ween. Yes, Ween is probably my favorite band. They're definitely up there. If not my favorite, they're in the top three. And yeah, I thought I'd listen to all. Well, I have listened to all their albums before, but I thought I'd rank all their albums from my least favorite to my favorite. And they've done 10 albums. Now, technically 9 studio albums, but I am also including Shinola Volume 1, which isn't really considered to be a studio album. It's actually considered to be a compilation album. But I think I heard that that it kind of is a studio album because they went in and re-recorded some songs that didn't get released on their other albums and stuff. It's kind of a studio album, and plus Ween fans will probably get mad at me if I don't include it. So I figured, what the hell, I'll include or not Cucaracha, Shinola Volume 1, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so all 10 Ween albums ranked from my least favorite to favorite. And keep in mind, of course, these are my personal opinions. There might be some people that will, I know there will be some people that will get mad that I have my number 9 spot lower because there are some Ween fans that love this album. I'm not a fan of it though, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Just be thankful it's not my number 10. Um, but anyways, so yeah, I think I explained everything. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Okay. All right. So my number ten, my least favorite Ween album, and I think most Ween fans would probably agree with this. I think, and if you happen to like this album, I apologize, but my number 10, my least favorite Ween album is their last album, La Cucaracha. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of this album. I don't even think it's that good. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great, especially for a Ween album. It's very, very weak for a Ween album. It just doesn't have that same charm or whatever that Ween has. Like, it just doesn't feel like a Ween album, really. I mean, sure, it's experimental, but still, it just doesn't feel like Ween to me. However, there are some good songs. Like, I like Blue Balloon, Friends, Object, Learning to Love is a funny song. Um, and my favorite song off of the album is Lullaby. Lullaby is a really good song. Go check it out if you haven't already. I have a playlist in the description down below where it's all of my favorite songs from each album. So go check that out. But yeah, I'll mention every song, all my favorite songs on each album. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not a great album in my opinion. It's pretty lame, kind of boring too, honestly, for a Ween album. I'm just not a fan. If you like it, that's cool, but I'm not a fan. So yeah, La Cucaracha is my number 10, my least favorite. Okay, my number 9. Now, my number 9, there are going to be some Ween fans that are going to be mad at me because there's a lot of Ween fans that happen to like this album. I don't really. I like it slightly better than La Cucaracha, but to be honest, it's actually kind of worse than La Cucaracha, in my opinion. Like musically, it's pretty bad, but I think it's supposed to be that way because this is one of their earliest albums, and their first three albums they were really trying to be a good band. They were trying to be pretty bad. They were trying to be brown, if you will. That's what they called it. But um, my number nine, in my opinion, is their brownest album. I think some people might say the Pod is their brownest album. I just no. This album's way more brown than the Pod, and it's not really that good. That is their third album, Pure Guava. Yes, I know. What's really weird is that, which is probably why they made this album as bad as it is, because this was their major label debut album. Um, and it does have, of course, the it does have a single which is "Push the Little Daisies," and that is a good song. I do like that one. Don't get me wrong, there are some good songs off this album. Not every song is bad. Um, like some of the songs I like are the opening "Little Birdie," "Big Jim," "Push the Little Daisies." I like "The Going Gets Tough from the Get Go." And Sarah is a really good song. That's actually one of my favorites. And Don't Get Too Close to My Fantasy is an amazing song. My favorite song off of this album, though, is The Stallion Part 3, which is actually, if you watched my top 20 favorite Ween songs video, that's actually my second favorite song after a certain song that is on my favorite album, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, the Stallion Part 3 is a great song. It's my favorite off of this album. It's actually really good. Um, yeah, there's a couple good songs off of here, but like I don't know, some of these others I'm just not into. They just don't do much for me. Like I don't know. I saw Gina crying in his sleep. And Flies on My Dick and stuff like that. So I play it off legit. It just they just don't do much for me. And God, I cannot listen to Morning Glory. That is honestly, in my opinion, the worst Ween song ever. And I know there are some Ween fans that love it, but I'm sorry. I hate Morning Glory. Um, but yeah, I don't like this album very much at all. The only reason why I have it over the Cucaracha is because, well, okay, for two reasons. One, it does feel like a Ween album, unlike La Cucaracha. And two, there are more songs off of this album I like better than La Cucaracha. There's seven songs off of this album that I like, and there was only five off of La Cucaracha. So that's why I like it just a tad bit better than La Cucaracha, but I still don't like this album. It just doesn't do anything for me for the most part. I mean, it does a little bit, but not very much. Um, so yeah, Pure Guava, that is my number nine. Okay, now my number eight, and the rest of these I do like. I do like the rest of these albums. Okay, so my number eight, is actually their debut album. That is GodWeenSatan, the Oneness. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I think it's like a very brown version of the White Album, I would say. Um, Kind of like a, maybe you would say like a 90s version of was it Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, maybe? Or maybe my next one might be that, but I don't know. One of the two is pretty close to that album. But no, I really like God Means Satan. There are some quite a bit of songs off of this album. There are 13 songs on this album that I don't care for, honestly. And there are actually, okay, I actually counted the three bonus tracks. So if you count the three bonus tracks, there's 29 songs off of here, and 13 of them I don't like, but 16 of them I do. And there, yeah, some great stuff. I'm in the mood to move, which I think most people don't really like that song, but I do like it a lot. Bumblebee is hilarious. I like Up on the Hill. It's a pretty funny song. Nicole is a good one. Old Queen Cole's a really I like that one a lot. Nan is hilarious. I love it. Also like Licking the Palm for Guava slash Mushroom Cloud Festival and Hell, which is actually two separate tracks, but they play them live together and they transition to each other. Like at the end of Licking for the Palm for Guava. Licking the Palm for Guava, it transitions to Mushroom Cloud Festival and Hell. They go together good. But yeah, and LMLYP is great, and yeah, it's a good album. My favorite song off of here though is "Birthday Boy." Really good song. One of my favorite Ween songs. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, GodWeenSatan. It's a good album. Even though there are some on it, but but it's still good. It's still good. Yeah, it's my number eight. GodWeenSatan, the Oneness. All right. My number seven is an album I think a lot of people actually don't really care for because they say it's their most brownest album, which again I disagree. I think Pure Guava is more brown than this. I actually like this one. This is their second album. That is the Pod. Yeah, I really like the Pod. I think it's very strange, and there are nine songs on here that I don't really care for, but for the most part, you know, the 14 other songs off of this album I think are great. I even like Strap On That Jammy Back. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I do like that one. It's pretty funny to me. Dr. Rock is great. Frank is really good. I like both Stallions Part 1 and 2. I don't like them as much as Stallion Part 3, but those are still great songs. Polo Asado's good. Right to the Waist and the Rules to the World is awesome. Kind of sounds like a David Bowie song a little bit. Captain Fantasy's great. Molly is really weird, but I love it. Mononucleosis is great. Oh My Dear, Falling in Love is great. She Fucks Me is awesome. I love that song. And my personal favorite is Pork Roll, Egg, and Cheese. Great song. Probably their most popular song off the album, really, and their best. But yeah, I like the Pod, and it is my number seven, the Pod. Okay, my number six. I'm actually surprised that this didn't make it in the top five. But I think a lot of Ween fans really like this one. This is one of their later albums, but I like it. I like it quite a bit. But however, there are some songs like in the middle of the album I'm not really too into. That's why it's kind of low. But but my number six is Quebec. Yeah, Quebec is really good. Like this album here is kind of like I would say almost like their White album, except there's only 15 songs off of here. But like there's all kinds of different sounding songs off of here. It's really cool. Yeah, great songs off here. Like it's gonna be a long night. Zoloft, Transdermal Celebration is great. So many people in the neighborhood. Tried and True, Captain. The Argus is awesome. My personal favorite though is "Happy Colored Marbles." Really cool song. Kind of sounds like an acid trip. I would think that's how it sounds. Not that I've ever been on an acid trip, but no, it's a great song though. "Happy Colored Marbles." Yeah, I like Quebec. There's just some songs, like I said, in the middle that I don't really care for. Like on the second side, I think all the songs off of side A is pretty good. Well, actually, I'm not really too into Among Us Tribe. Not really into that one, but there's some off of the second side I'm not really into either. Um, yeah, yeah. Quebec, it's a good album. It's really good. Just not quite in the top five. I like these better. And I'm actually surprised that my number five I even like better because I think if you would ask me this like last year, I would say that no, this is what probably my top three, and this one's like pretty close to the bottom, my number five. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Quebec, that is my number 6. Okay, now we're in the top 5, and my number 5. This is the first one in this ranking that I own. I only own 3 Ween albums, but I know I need. I'll probably end up getting them all, even the last two, the Cucaracha and Pure Guava, just to collect, But anyways, my number 5. Again, I'm actually surprised this made it in the top 5, but no, this is actually a really good album. Number 5 is 12 Golden Country Greats. Yeah. Um, as you can tell by the title, this is a country album. Although there aren't actually 12 songs off on this album, there's actually 10 for some reason. I don't know why it's called 12. I guess they just did that to be funny, but yeah, 12 Country Grown Greats or Golden Country Greats, I always get that mixed up. It's a good album. It's a good country album. I don't even like country that much, but Ween really pulls it off, and I like most of these songs. And yeah, they're really good. Japanese Cowboy and Piss Up a Rope is really funny. I like Powder Blue, and Mr. Richard Smoker is hilarious. You Were the Fool is good. Yeah, it's a good album. My personal favorite is I Don't Want to Leave You on the Farm. Really cool, really good and catchy song. Uh, yeah, 12 Golden Country Greats is my number 5. All right. My number four is the album that I included on here that didn't really need to be included because it's, well, at least the Wikipedia. It's not a compilation album, I mean, not a studio album, but I consider it to be one of their albums. Anyways, my number 4 is Shinola Volume 1. And there actually isn't a Volume 2. I don't know if there ever will be. But Shinola is a good album. Yeah, like I said, these were songs that, were, I think they were, originally, some of them were originally recorded for other albums. Some of them were, on demos. And then, they decided to re record these songs and make an album out of it. And yeah, it's for the most part pretty good. I think there's only 3 I don't really care for too much, um, but yeah, it's a good album. Yeah, let's see. Tastes Good on the Bun is good. I Fell in Love Today, Gabrielle, which sounds like a Thin Lizzy song. Did you see me? Sounds like a Pink Floyd song. How High Can You Fly? Transitions, The Rift, Someday actually sounds like a Mac DeMarco song, and this is even before Mac DeMarco. But yeah, my personal favorite is Israel. Israel is a really weird but really cool song. It sounds like it's like a Jewish song. Yeah, it sounds like it's Jewish, but yeah, Israel. I mean Shinola. That is my number 4. Yeah, really good album. Shinola, Volume 1, number 4. All right. Now we're in the top 3. My number 3 is an album that I think most people would probably say, even fans aren't. I mean, people that are not real big Ween fans might would like this one. And this was the album that put Ween on the map. And I could say that this is probably their first really good album. That is Chocolate and Cheese. Yeah, and I have to be honest, this is probably their best album, despite it being in number 3. There are 2 others I like better, but this is probably their best album. This is a legit good album. Not just like a brown album. This is actually a good album. Um, yeah, yeah, I love Chocolate and Cheese. Great album. Great songs on here like Spinal Meningitis, which is probably their most fucked up song, but I love it though. Freedom of 76 is great. I can't put my finger on it. I like the instrumental. A Tear for Eddie, Roses Are Free, Baby Bitch, Drifter in the Dark, Voodoo Lady, the most popular song off of this album. Buenos Tardes Amigo, the HIV song, and what Diener was talking about. My personal favorite is actually the closing track off the album, Don't Shit Where You Eat. Great song. I love it. I love Don't Shit Where You Eat. Um, but yeah, Chocolate and Cheese is great. I really do like it a lot. There are a couple songs off of here like Candy and Mr. Would You Please Help My Pony, and I think Joppa Road, I think's the other one, maybe. Yeah, I don't really care for those songs too much, um, but no, still a great album though. I really like this one a lot, and yeah, Chocolate and Cheese. That is my number three, my third favorite Ween album. Okay, my number two. All right, this was originally my number one, but surprisingly, there's another album I like better. And the reason why is because my number one favorite album, I like every single song off of it. This one, on the other hand, I don't like every song off of it, or at least not like. I mean, I think they're all good, but they don't all like stand out really for me. Every song off of my number one stands out. This one, not too much. But still a great album nonetheless. And it is actually the album that I ranked all the songs off of, which was just last week. Yeah, that's right. The Mollusk is my number two. And if you're a Ween fan, you could probably guess what my number one is now. But we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, The Mollusk, a great album. Go check out that video if you haven't already. My ranking for all the songs off of this album. Which I'm not going to talk too much about this album. Just go watch that video. But I'll go ahead and say my favorite, which is spoilers for that ranking. But my favorite song off of this album is "It's Gonna Be All Right." A beautiful song, beautiful song. Um, but yeah, the Mollusk is great. And fun fact: this album helped Steven Hillenburg. I was about to say Steven Spielberg, but Steven Hillenburg to create one of the greatest cartoons ever made, SpongeBob SquarePants. But yeah, yeah, a little fun fact there. And of course, Ocean Man, the most popular song off of this album, was in the SpongeBob movie. But yeah, The Mollusk is a great album, and it was my favorite for the longest time. But as I was listening to every single album for this ranking, I discovered, which, I mean, of course, I've heard this album before, but there was one album that surprisingly beat The Mollusk. And let's talk about it, shall we? All right, and my number one favorite Ween album is, if you've been keeping track, you know what it is. It is the only album that I own on vinyl that is White Pepper. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised that this is now my favorite Ween album, but man, even the last time I heard this album before I heard it for the ranking, I was like, man, this album is really fucking good. And I was thinking to myself, this could be my favorite. Like this, even then, I was thinking this could actually be my favorite. And after listening to it for the ranking, yeah, it's my favorite now. It beat the Mollusk. I'm really surprised. But every single song off of this album is great. All the songs on here stand out. I don't think there's a bad song on here at all. And it's probably, I don't know if it is their best album, but in some ways it kind of is. Um, I do think this is probably their first and maybe even only like straightforward album, I guess you would say. Just like an album that is not really that comedic. I think the only song that's kind of comedic on here, I think I would say is Pandy Fackler, which is like a kind of like a Steely Dan tribute song, and it's about a prostitute. That one's kind of humorous, but all these other songs, sorry, my back hurts. All these other songs are like just more. They're actually a little bit more serious for Ween. And Ween, most of their songs are funny, but this album is actually not all that funny. Like there's some actually Like, these are legit good songs by Ween. You got Flutes of Chi, Even If You Don't, which sounds like a Beatles song. Bananas and Blow, Stroke Ray sounds like a Motorhead song. Ice Castles, really cool instrumental. Back to Basem is really good. The Grove, Penny Fackler, like I said, Stay Forever, Falling Out, She's Your Baby. And my personal favorite, which is actually my favorite Ween song, which you would know if you've seen my top 20 favorite Ween songs video, that exactly where I'm at, the opening track. Um, yeah, I love this album now. I love this album. Even the first time I heard this album, I wasn't really that into it, honestly. I actually didn't really care for it too much when I very first heard this album, but it grew on me over time. And now it's my favorite Ween album. I'm shocked that it is because I thought the Mollusk for sure was going to be my number one in this ranking, but no, surprisingly not. It's White Pepper. Mollusk a close second, but yeah, White Pepper is now my favorite Ween album. Yeah. All right, there we go. There's my ranking for all 10 Ween albums. So in the comments, please give me your ranking of all of Ween's albums, and if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just say what your favorite and least favorite Ween albums are. All right, so please, of course, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. In my next video, I think I'm gonna do it's gonna be a movie related video. That's gonna be my top 20. I'm gonna try to do my top 20 favorite movies of all time. I'm gonna try to do that. My top 20 favorite movies of all time. So look out for that. And also on Thursday, that will be on Monday. And on Thursday, I'm gonna try to do top 20 favorite Rolling Stones songs. So look out for that if you're interested. If you like the Rolling Stones, check out that list. But anyways, yeah, those are the two I have planned. So look out for those videos. So yeah, I'll see you then. Okay. Peace.